This content does contain graphic language and it is not intended for children, so viewer discretion is advised. On September 8th, 2020, a woman named Barbara Ofori was headed to her job at the Navy Federal Credit Union in Orlando, Florida. As she stood at the door waiting for her coworker to let her in so that she can start her shift, Barbara was fatally gunned down. The person responsible? Her husband. 3. Welcome to Brushes and Justice, where we talk about crimes in our community from the past and the present. My name is DeShera, and this is my attempt to shed the light on the crazy, sick, and twisted world of criminality while I do my makeup. So let me tell y'all what led to these fatal events that happened on September 8th, 2020. It all starts with a man named Sylvester Ofori. So Sylvester was from Ghana and he was a pastor at the Floodgates of Heaven International Ministries in Orlando, Florida. He was a very well known as this famous pastor by the name of the Prophet. He literally has 60,000 followers on social media plus a whole church congregation. Like, that's pretty good. He always had a strong desire to please God, so that's what led him to be a pastor. That's what initially sparked his interest in, having his own ministry. In 2014, Pastor Prophet Sylvester, that's what we're just gonna call him just for the video's sake because I struggle saying this man's last name, but he meets Barbara. He meets her and he prophesizes over her life that she is with the wrong person. So Barbara, she leaves her boyfriend and she decides that she is going to be with the Prophet. In 2015, Barbara and the Prophet decide to get married. They tie the knot. It's a beautiful wedding. They look absolutely stunning. Barbara looks so beautiful and so happy. Like, she literally looks really happy. But apparently everything ain't what it looked, because in 2016 the police responded to a domestic dispute and the Prophet was arrested for resisting arrest when the police responded to that incident. So it had been trouble in paradise since 2016, and maybe even before then, maybe in 2016 that could have literally just been the first time that she actually reported it, So fast forward to 2020, Sylvester and Barbara are going through this nasty divorce. Like, he is posting on Facebook, calling her, all types of names, talking about, just dissing her, but he doing it sneakily. He was in his feelings, clearly. So, of course, he got his whole congregation full thinking that Barbara is just, this monster. Somehow, it got around the church that she was doing witchcraft. While they're going through their divorce, I guess Sylvester is he think that he's almighty because he's the Prophet. He goes to the apartment that him and Barbara was sharing while Barbara was there getting her stuff, because she's trying to move on with her life like Sylvester should have just did. Sylvester ends up coming to their home and Sylvester and Barbara's brother end up fighting. So while Sylvester and Barbara's brother are fighting, Barbara's sister is like filming the whole thing. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I felt like the sister just was trying to expose him. Like, people need to see who this monster really is. Like, he is a real monster, and y'all think because he's a pastor, you know, he can just get away with this. Long story short, while the sister is filming Sylvester and her brother fighting, Sylvester turns to her brother and makes a very chilling threat.
We came tonight, can I promise you something? Promise, if I don't kill your sister, then me, I am sick. You got the video, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I call the cops.
No, it's
not. No, call the cops, then. No.
Barbara, stop that.
Tanya, you don't play with threats like this. Then I'm calling the cops.
Clearly you can see that he has some type of demonic possession going on, because I don't even know how do you even have the balls to say that to somebody's brother. Like, as you can see, like, Barbara was like defending, you know, she was like, no, don't call the police. I don't want to escalate this. In my opinion, I feel like she was just a really good-hearted person, and she didn't want to get him into anything deeper. And allegedly, the reason why she didn't really want to escalate it, because apparently she didn't want to get him deported back to Ghana. Like, so she was still, even though he was like abusive and abusing her and just, you know, causing all this havoc in her life, she was still protecting him. He was really upset about the divorce, because if she left, he wouldn't have had nothing. So she was the breadwinner. Like, she was bringing home the bacon. Barbara was a assistant manager at the Navy Federal Bank, and his income was him pastoring the church. She decides that she's not going to get authorities involved after he has made this threat in front of her brother and her sister, and it's on video. As you can see in the video, the brother is literally like, call the police, show that to the police. And like I said, she just saying, you know, no, we don't want to escalate this. Barbara doesn't want to get her husband into no trouble, or her ex-husband, still her husband at the time. She's still like looking out for him. She's still being a protective good wife. Barbara wasn't really afraid of Pastor Prophet's threat. I'm guessing he made threats like that all the time because she didn't want to get the authorities involved. The next day, Barbara is on her way to work, and I'm pretty sure she had no idea what her estranged husband had in store for her. So Sylvester, Pastor Prophet, is on his way to fulfill his promise he made to her brother the day before. He goes and rents a Dodge Caravan, and he parks it outside of her job, and he waits on her to arrive at her job. Barbara heads up to the door like her normal, usual self. Sylvester is creeping behind her with a gun. So he's literally, she doesn't even know that he's behind her. While she's standing at the door, she hit the ground. Now she got 2 bullets in her back. Like, oh my gosh. So not only do he pop her twice in her back, he stands over her body and shoots her multiple times in the head. After he executes his wife in broad daylight, now mind you, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, he walks away like nothing happened. He's literally seen just walking away like he just took his dog for a walk. So he gets in his Dodge Caravan and he drives away. The co-worker sees, she saw this whole thing, this whole incident take place. She's in a panic. She calls 911. Barbara is rushed to the hospital, but unfortunately she's pronounced dead once she arrives to the hospital. Witnesses are able to identify a shooter. And this whole incident is caught on the bank surveillance tape. The bank camera literally caught Sylvester shooting and executing his wife. The police were able to identify Sylvester, and they put a warrant out for his arrest. The next day, he was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Clearly, this was premeditated as to why he was charged with first-degree murder. And it was no denying it. He didn't deny the allegations. Apparently, his story is he killed her because she was practicing witchcraft. Cases like this are very unfortunate, and honestly, I really hope that Pastor Prophet gets a life sentence. This crime was very reckless, senseless, and just unnecessary. Like, he did not have to do her like that. Now a whole life is gone. For what? For what? The congregation was literally agreeing with Pastor Prophet's actions, saying, well, she was doing witchcraft. I just don't get it. Like, how can y'all say that y'all are people of God and pick and choose how y'all gonna honor God? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But Pastor Prophet was a demon. Like, and that's why I just feel like it's very important who we allow to prophesize over our lives. I honestly think that he probably been planning this for a long time. Like, this was not an overnight plan. He probably was either intimidated by her success or, you know, just a narcissist, sociopath, whatever. If Pastor Prophet didn't want to be with Barbara because she was practicing witchcraft, wouldn't it just would have been better to get your divorce and move on with your life? But instead, you had to execute her in broad daylight. And I definitely feel like Pastor Prophet was some type of demon, because you have to be demonic to kill somebody in broad daylight. And not only that, you did it at a bank. Like, if robbers get caught, why would you think he would have got caught in your murder? And I really believe that he thought that he wasn't going to get caught, because you could just tell by his posts and the way that his demeanor, that he thought that he was really in this exclusive club with God and he was untouchable, which, oh my gosh, trifling, narcissist, psychopath, all of that. I hope that the state of Florida throws the book at him, okay? The most shocking part about this entire ordeal is that you told her siblings that you were going to kill her. Like, you had to have been planning this death, this murder. You had to be planning it. And it's just tragic that somebody so young that had so much potential, that was doing so many great things in her life, literally lost her life to a senseless crime like this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload more content like this. Stay safe out there, babes. Stay away from crazy people. Domestic violence is real. If he hits you once, he's going to hit you again, and vice versa. That is interchangeable for sexes. So definitely do not stay in abusive relationships. Like, please get out. I hate reading about stories like this and hearing about stories like this, because I hate domestic violence. I hate domestic violence, literally. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.